That's a very quick come to order. I think everybody's going to follow the rules because most of the people, if you're from here, you've been cooped up in your house for weeks or up on the ladder chipping ice or shoveling snow or trying to find somebody who can shovel your snow or all manner of things. So my name is Julie Harrelson. I'll be your MC tonight. We'll have these great speakers, and I'll be supporting them up here to move through the program. And for those of you that I haven't met, please come and meet me afterwards if we haven't met before. And I'm the fund manager for Cascade Angels. I'm on the board of EDCO, and I volunteer as MC. It's my stand-up comedy platform, so you're going to have to bear with me here. One of the things that we do occasionally, just to spice it up a little bit, is I choose a theme song. So I chose a theme song. I'm going to try and play it through the microphone. And I want you to clap by telling me how accurate you think this is, okay? And if I run into technical difficulties, I'll come back later, but okay. Just clap if you think it's perfect. Okay. Okay, you ready? Oh. Where's the volume? It's really good. Yeah, can you come up here and help me? I mean, this should not be wasted on you. I mean, we should do this absolutely. Dun 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 dun. Ice, ice, baby. Okay. Thank you. I've completely destroyed my professional persona. We're moving on to the sponsors. Title sponsors, Columbia Bank, Carnot Peterson, and UBS Rivera Wealth Management. Thank you so much. And the supporting sponsors, Jones & Ross CPAs, COCC Small Business Development Center, and Central Oregon Realtors Association. Thank you so much for sponsoring. And new to the sponsor lineup for Pubtalk is EDCO Lifesaver Velux Systems, EDCO's IT solution. Thank you for sponsoring. I want to first introduce Kurt Barker from Carnot Peterson. Kurt?
Hey everybody, thanks for having us. We're proud to sponsor Pubtalk. Kurt Barker, your local friendly intellectual property and employment law attorney. My law partner John is here. It's a nice surprise. John, out there. I asked John, head of our business department, if we could give away a snowblower tonight. And I got shot down, but we have wine. Wine, so that's a good thing. 21 or older, please. Yeah, just real quick, we've had a great 2016. I think Annie Nelson is here, other attorneys from our office. I'm thrilled to have a growing deeper bench on trademark copyright disputes and filings. Happy about that. But I want to briefly highlight on some employment news. If you've come to our Carnot Peterson employment law seminars or heard me talk, you know I can get a little fired up about our National Labor Relations Board doing some crazy things to employers, like striking down policies that say thou shalt not be disrespectful. What? Because that might chill union organizing activity or something. There's been some really aggressive enforcement by the board, but we just got some news, and this is going to get to how you win the wine, trust me. We just got some news. President Trump appointed one of the only Republican from within the National Labor Relations Board to be the acting chair. Philip, I think it's Mishimara, is how you say it. I guess his conservative side isn't a surprise, but here's the really fun, ironic part to me. Raise your hand to win the wine, please, respectfully. What hotel did Philip slap down recently for refusing to bargain with a union? Yes. Did you say Trump International Hotel in Las Vegas? You just won some wine! I kind of wonder if Trump forgot about that. I don't know. But thank you for having us. Go Pubtalk.
We'll learn all kinds of interesting facts from our sponsors. So now I'd like to introduce Keith Rivera from UBS, and following that will be Corey Allen.
It's interesting how Trump comes up with in all these conversations now. This will be a 2-minute investment outlook from the Rivera Group. It's nonpartisan, even though I use the name Trump. Okay? Right now, the optimism, I've been doing this for 34 years. We have clients all over the country. We have a great track record. But right now, the optimism we've seen in the country, in the business, consumer business, optimism, the leading indicators, I've never seen so much optimism for businesses in the United States. This reminded me of when Clintons were in there and when Reagan was in there. And the reason is, and the GDP numbers now are forecasted to be 3 to 4%, unlike the 1 to 2% in the past. And the CEOs now are very optimistic. They're starting to invest. So what is causing this optimism is currently right now the Donald Trump business plan and his agenda, which currently we know for business, and I'm just talking about business, low taxes, taking away a lot of the regulations. He's going to be repatriate trillions of dollars overseas, make deals, low taxes, and that's going to put a lot of people to work once he gets these deals done. Apple, Google, they got their money over there. Infrastructure building with bridges and highways, etc. Largesse in the government, reducing that. Building the wall is going to put a lot of people to work, and believe me, he will build that wall. I'm just telling you. I mean, it's scary, but he will. But all of these things lower healthcare costs. Now, here's what we recommend, even though there's so much optimism right now in the country, is we would not take a big bet in the market right now. What we would do is on dips buy, in the market right now. And here's the reason why. If he implements all the things that he's talking about, all of these policies, and they actually start working, the market, and he does it with wisdom, the market will be one of the biggest continuing bull markets we've had in a long, long time, because he's all focused on business and putting lots of people to work. The problem is, if he does it very recklessly, which if you're taking bets, recklessly or with wisdom, if he does it very recklessly, it could be really chaos, and the market could go down way below before the Trump rally. So what we're recommending at this point is to buy on the dips. Don't put your serious money until about another month or 2 months to see if he's actually going to implement all of these very aggressive policies and to see if it starts sticking. If it starts sticking, he's bringing, you see trillions of dollars coming over from Google, Facebook here. If the Congress and them vote for bipartisan for infrastructure, then you'll kind of see. In closing, the companies we like right now are energy companies, agriculture, and defense stocks. What I would be very cautious of this year is high interest rates, and inflation is coming. You don't want to own home builders stocks, and you don't want to own materials. In closing, I just want to say my partner over there is Ryan McHugh. Everybody knows him with the Rivera Wealth Management Group. We both came here. I came here because I love the area. We have clients all over the country like you, very successful people, and we've got a 34-year track record. You can go Keith Rivera, Bend, Oregon, and find out all about me, the good things, the bad things, on the website. Thank you.
Huge. Corey Allen from Columbia Bank.
All right, I love going last because I have everybody's attention. Everybody's really dying to hear what I have to say. I'm going to keep this short. My name's Corey. I work with the Columbia Bank Commercial Banking Group. Very happy to participate in this. Thank you for having me. Julie, thanks for moderating. With all this talk about infrastructure and Trump and everything, maybe I think Central Oregon needs to build a wall. That's what I'm starting to think, those people here. And we're going to have Redmond pay for it. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding, really. We'll make Lapine pay for it, seriously. Okay, no, I'm just kidding. Okay, I got dared to say that joke. I'm sorry. But hey, what I really wanted to talk about, this real exciting Cascade Business News with sponsorship from Columbia Bank and SGA and Associates. is starting this Cascade Business News Fastest 20. You should be seeing information about it. There's a couple flyers around your desk. That's a great opportunity to, if you're a business owner yourself, you kind of want to get recognized, or if you work with companies, those folks are tied to it in the banking industry. Myself, I certainly want to get some applications submitted. It's really based on the fastest growing companies in Central Oregon the last 3 years. It's only based on sales increase in sales size, so really almost all sales size of companies we're looking at. And based on the last 3 years, there's not a whole lot of confidential information exposed. Nothing will be released. It's great publicity. You get some free coverage in Cascade Business News, a little profile. It'll be a real exciting event towards the end of the beginning of November, I think is what we're looking for. So anyway, some more stuff will be coming out. Very excited about it. If you have any questions, certainly let me know. Love to answer any questions. And yeah, so look for this and more to come. Enjoy the show. Thanks, guys.
So just to thank again Kurt, Keith, and Corey, we really appreciate the sponsors, and also just having some substantive comments at the beginning. We're really, EDCO is an economic development engine. We're interested in having a community that is really friendly to business growth, and I just appreciate hearing the different perspectives, because I think it helps us as we work together to build a strong economy here. And being in the high desert, sometimes it can seem like we're not always that connected to the rest of the world, and the fact is that it's very connected to what we're doing. So thank you very much for your comments and for sponsoring. I really do want to play that song, but I'll get to it. In fact, it could be the theme song for the EDCO team, but we don't know for sure. Can you hear it? Can you hear it? Do you want to sing along? Can you hear it? It's just so perfect for right now. Okay. I don't want to burn up our time on frivolous things here. Okay. EDCO staff. Now, this is a small but mighty organization. I want to point them out and actually seek them out. Like if you're new to EDCO, new to town, not a member, interested in getting connected to our business community here, these are great people. Aaron Chiat, operations manager; Brian Vieira, venture catalyst; Tom Rowley, the BEN manager; Terry Hockett, the technology industry coordinator; Aaron Riley, events and membership manager; David Haynes, special shout out, EDCO intern, and looking for gainful employment if you're in need. David is at the door there, okay. And Mary Knight, Reddy's new administrative assistant, helping John Stark out in Redmond. And I'd like to have you give a shout out and a clap, special 2017 welcome for EDCO's Executive Director, Roger Lee, to the stage for a Director's Minute.
Julie is in rare form tonight. Thanks for doing this, Julie. So a little bit of information for you here. We've got some new members on our team. Hopefully you've had a chance to meet Steve Parnell. Steve is heading up the effort down in South County for Sun River Lapine, and he came on board here. Steve, I don't know if you're in this room. He's way in the back there. This is the 5th week on the job. So welcome, Steve. If you get a chance to say hello to him, please do. Also, I'd love to welcome Elise Rossman is joining the EDCO team. She's actually not working for us yet, but she's here at Pubtalk and hanging out with us. So Elise will be taking over our Director of Marketing and Communications, and she'll come on actually on the 6th of February. So we're super happy to have that. She takes the reins from Natalie, who's spending more time, I think, with her family. But she just stopped by the other day, and things are going well there. So I also want to say, as our organization is growing, and we have had a desire for some time to actually have somebody focused on membership, something that it's funny because we don't ask for membership a lot because we're doing events and doing economic development. And it's funny how many people say, yeah, what took you so long to ask to become a member of EDCO? So we're going to have a person dedicated to that, and I'm excited that Ann McDonald with MCD Group. Ann, I think you're here tonight as well. I'm not sure if you're in this room or another or the other one, but Ann is heading up that professional search for us. So if you know somebody stellar and great and would love to join the EDCO team, please either have them talk to me or to Ann. And then I also want to mention, I think maybe it's been mentioned already, that the EDCO annual luncheon is just 2 weeks away. It's kind of scary for us this year. We've had it's been a busy start to the year. So it's one of our longest standing events. It precedes me by a number of years in the organization, which some people say, is that even possible? But it is. It's probably a 25-year event for the organization. And last year we had about 650 people gather at the River House Convention Center. So we don't expect any less coming up on February 9th. We've secured a national expert and global speaker on economic and community development. His name is Ron Kitchens, and he's the CEO and senior partner at Southwest Michigan First, obviously an area that's been hit hard with some kind of economic transition here in the recent years. So there are already over 400 seats filled, and so we're planning to have another big one. If you're interested in joining that event, definitely get on the website, talk to anybody from EDCO. We'll get you going there. And then last, I get the honor of announcing some of our new members tonight. Our newest members are Bookkeeping Strategies, Bryant Green, Hassan and Company, Cascadia Vehicle Tents, Tensility International Corporation, which is a company we actually helped relocate here to Central Oregon. I can't believe it's been already since 2009, but they do cable and wire harnesses. And then Velox Systems. Velox is an IT provider, and they've been helping us for, I don't know, probably really since they got started 6 or 7 years ago. Additionally, Jordan and his team at Velox, I think Harrison is here tonight along with Philip, as a new Pubtalk speaker. So we're super excited to have them really supporting the Pubtalk effort tonight. So when you get a chance to see somebody with a Velox sticker, please tell them thank you. That's it.
Thanks, Roger. We were really lucky to have Roger here. His tireless effort on behalf of Central Oregon is amazing. Now we'd like to move into the program. So for those of you that haven't been here before, what we do is we have a couple short presentations followed by Q&A, and then we'll have our keynote speaker. So our first speaker tonight is CEO of Hideaway, Nikki Singlaub, and he's here coming to the stage for a brief company update. Hideaway manufactures a collapsible water bottle, and whether you're a frequent flyer, a mile-a-minute mom, a weekend warrior, or just someone who thirsts for thoughtful design, Hideaway fits the life you live and the life that you love.
So beer in one hand and my notes in the other. Where is my water bottle? In my pocket. So I'm Nikki, founder of Hideaway, which used to be the name of my collapsible water bottle invention. Yeah, you bet. So I'm Nikki, hi, founder of Hideaway. Used to be the name of my collapsible water bottle invention, but now it's the name of our emerging hydration brand. It's great to be up here. It's been a little over a year, and it's been mind-blowing, this amazing year. But really, I owe it all to you, Central Oregon community, business community, that's done so much for me. This great local graphic designer, copywriters, videographers helped me launch this product on Kickstarter a year and a half ago. Because of them, we finished in the top 1% of all-time Kickstarter campaigns. It was really amazing. Then I met a local sales rep in town who really helped start the wholesale business, and now we have all these great retail partners here in Oregon, like Newport Market, the Ben's Store, Outside Inn, Powell's Books, Storables, Market of Choice, 20 others just in Oregon, and growing. Local investor groups like Cascade Angels, who invited me to pitch to them, which was such an honor. And ultimately, I was able to raise funds to help turn this product into a global brand, and that's our goal right now, all within the community. All these local entrepreneurs that are here and elsewhere that are gracious with their time and knowledge to share ideas over a pint or a mountain bike ride, and you know who you are, so thank you. And really the local talent in this town, it's impressive. My first employee was hired in June through BBSI, another local company, and he grew up right here in Bend as well. Brian Vernon, who's in the back there, raise your hand. Introduce yourself to this guy. He's a good guy. It's worth it. Really 6 years ago, I never would have guessed, those of you who have been here, that Central Oregon would be this amazing place to start a company. But it's really, really ideal. All the things I just mentioned came from right here, so thank you all. But that's how I've gotten here. So where is Hideaway going next? So in 2017, we're taking the retail traction we've already accomplished this year and expanding out into a variety of sales channels, mainly in the travel, gift, home, and grocery channels. Turns out the International Houseware Show is our crowd. We did more business at that show back in March in the first hour than we did in 4 days at Outdoor Retailer. Okay, first pivot, and that's us. So for instance, we're in 80 of Nordstrom's top stores, 250 Ace Hardware outlets across the country with the opportunity to be in all 5,000, and we've been approved for all Whole Foods regions across the country. In fact, just last month we sold out, we completely sold out on Nordstrom.com and Amazon just before Christmas. Right now, products are being shown in 7 trade shows just this month, so we're getting it out there, which is nice. In terms of product, we're launching some new colors this spring and more accessories in the fall, and then you'll start to see more products coming out spring of 18, which is really exciting. And then we're using a couple creative agencies to help us evolve our brand identity and target our customers and our new market, working on packaging, retail displays, logo, web presence, you name it, trying to reach travelers and those on the go that are loving our bottles. And right now we're hiring a marketing manager and onboarding a director of sales, which is going to allow me to focus more on the business than in the business all day and night, which is very exciting. So if you're interested or you know anyone, please contact us through our website or grab a business card from me or Brian, and or talk to BBSI, who's doing our hiring. That's it. Thank you.
Can you stay up here for a few minutes? I'm going to ask questions. I'm going to repeat the questions so people in the other rooms can hear, okay? Okay, so we're going to do a brief Q&A in just a second here, and then during the Q&A, we have this process where when you ask the question, I repeat it so that people that are in the other rooms can hear. So I'll be your wing person over here with the questions. So questions for Nikki? Yes.
I just wondered, most people know what the product is, but I'm not that familiar. Can you just walk through it?
Oh yeah, can you walk through the product so that people are familiar with it?
Absolutely. So as a product designer, I was traveling a lot, and my reusable water bottles were taking up a lot of room in my carry-on. So I had an idea on a plane flight home of creating this bottle that collapsed just to an inch thick that I could fit in my back pocket, which was my empty pocket, going through TSA and other places. And when you open it up, it expands to, this is the large size, 21 ounces. The top comes off so you can easily clean it, fill it with ice, dishwasher safe, all FDA approved at BPA materials. And that's pretty much it in a nutshell. We have 2 sizes, a 21 ounce and a 12 ounce, which is great for kids.
Yeah. And it's great if you have multiple people, like if you're camping, because everybody can get their own color, right? Or you can match it to your outfits. Yes? Where do you manufacture them?
Good question. We're manufacturing in 3 different factories in South China right now, one that does the silicone, plastic, and assembly. We have those imported over into, actually Atlanta, Georgia is where we do our fulfillment out of, which is closest to most of our retail stores. We keep a close eye, actually I'll be there in 2 weeks, keep a close eye on our factories, and all materials are third-party certified to be safe.
Are there questions from the other room?
We don't have a mic in
Okay, because it's kind of cool because it sounds like it's coming out of the ceiling. Yes, back here.
Can you tell us what you're looking at launching?
Say again.
Can you tell us what you're looking at launching next?
Oh, what are you looking at launching next, or is it confidential?
I actually don't know yet. It's a good question. I mean, even coming out of Kickstarter, this took off. So what's next? What are we? So it's been some kind of brainstorming and soul searching on what this company's about. The hydration category, as we all know in this town, has huge potential. So sticking with hydration, sticking with on the go, solving those portability issues that you might have with other types of reusable bottles, and it's endless from there.
Hydration is key. One more question? Okay, I have one. Why bend? You gave it to me. Yeah, why look, if it's manufactured other places. Why you have it here?
Why are we here? Oh, testing, I guess. It's not right now, but very sunny here a lot. Why is Bend this hydration capital with Hydro Flask and Silly Pine and drink tanks, and we just like to drink things here. I guess.
That's right. Right. Thank you, Nikki. That was a great answer. We like to drink things, so we need lots of containers. It's true. Thank you so much for being here. Appreciate it. Well, we have a very special guest here tonight. I met him just before we started. He's a rock star. His name is Gage. He's from Seven Peaks School. They held their annual student Shark Tank competition. Last year, you might remember, there were 3 girls who presented the auto-lifting toilet seat. Very dynamic group. So this year, think hoverboard technology. Solo entrepreneur, Gage DeSoto, rose to the top of his competitors, but not without learning some valuable lessons. So we're here to hear from Gage tonight. Gage, welcome.
Hi, I'm Gage DeSoto. Can you imagine how fun it would be to float freely over anything? No grass, no curbs, no garbage, no nothing. I can imagine it, and now you can too, with Hover. Introducing one of the world's first non-magnetic hoverboards. Now you're probably wondering, what does non-magnetic mean? Well, it basically means other hoverboard prototypes require a copper and or magnetic track to function. So unless we're going to coat the planet in copper, we're out of luck, and you can't ride them outside of a designated park. What fun is that? So you're probably wondering, how does this crazy contraption work? Well, I'm about to tell you. So it has propellers, which are its main source of lift, and these holes that are the things that give it airflow to get it off the ground. I came up with the idea thinking of an upside-down helicopter, but I thought that would be unstable, and it would fly out of control, hit the neighbor's dog, you're getting lawsuits, I mean, you're blaming me. It's just no one's happy. So I opted for the drone design, which has 4 propellers, 4 plus 4 equals 8. 8 points of lift, meaning it's much more stable in flight. So who I want to market this to is I want to market it to skaters, mainly, who have their own money. I'll talk about that in the price later, but so that's about 18 to 34. And there are about 9.3 million active skaters in the US alone, and about 30% of them are 18 to 34 years old. So that means there's at least 2.8 million hover customers and many, many more who really just want the novelty of, I have a flying skateboard, you don't. So what I mentioned earlier, the price. So in a perfect world on a production hoverboard, this would be $1,700 for a sense of adventure and basically the novelty of saying, I have a hoverboard. But you're probably wondering, Gage, that's a lot of money. That's $1,700. I'm not going to pay that. Well, answer me one question. What do you pay for a good mountain bike? So I made this for a school project called Celebration of Innovation, and I learned some things, especially never doing this before, being a sixth grader, that I didn't really expect. I learned that people really do not accept ideas, especially, that are different just from the social norm. And I also learned it's really, really hard to work to work on a team. I'm still debating if that's a good or a bad thing, but for tonight, let's just leave it at I'm not good with working with other kids. I also learned that I ended up valuing the haters. Haters gonna hate, but I ended up valuing the haters because they were the ones that pushed me to make this thing work. And I also learned, of course, making a flying skateboard is really hard, and it took me months of hard work. But you know, people told me this won't work. People told me, Gage, you're weird, you're different. But look how far different got me. Thank you.
Okay, so we're gonna take a few. We're gonna take a few questions. So in the very back, David. Thank you. What's that? Can you demo it? Probably not enough time, but yeah, go ahead.
Well, for one thing, it's the battery. I didn't bring the controller because I lost it. Also, it's really hard to charge this thing. I had to charge it with a USB. I just didn't do it, mainly because, and also, it's 2 toy drones I bought. It's not as impressive as it sounds. Yeah, there is. If you want to see it, though, there is a video online. Did we link it in the thing?
Okay. Oh, and there's a link.
And there's a link to it in the email for EDCO.
Yeah.
In the blast, something like that. She knows what I'm talking about. Wherever you guys send stuff to each other, it's there.
Awesome. Okay. Next question. Or question, Aaron. Okay, yeah, so this is an idea and this is a model. So what do you need to put your first prototype together?
Well, for one thing, I need engineers to help me because my big 2 things that are my bane with making this was weight distribution and airflow. And that was really difficult to make. So to make a fully functioning prototype that I could stand on and like ride around and go to school on and be awesome on, that would it would be a lot larger than this. It wouldn't be something backpack size. It would probably be about this big. But if your question was to put it together, if your question was what I would need, like the resources I would need, would be money, engineers, and just time. But those would be the 3 things I need to put it together.
That's good. That's a very good start to a list for success. Yeah, Mike.
How did you decide on a market price of $1,700?
How did you decide on the market price of $1,700?
Well, I was kind of thinking, and if you break all what I'm basically selling you here, it's like in a final product, what I'd basically be selling you is 2 wind turbines, and like small wind turbines that you would find on a jet, and a skateboard deck. So, I mean, it wouldn't be wood, but so just thinking of 2 wind turbines, I mean, I think those things are out there. So, and I've seen them, and they look small. So I would feel that that would be just enough to get the wind turbines, and then the deck would just be a lot easier to manufacture. I don't know how manufacturing works, so I might have the price completely wrong. But $1,700 just kind of felt like a good middle ground for what essentially you would be buying.
Great. That's good logic. So what, one more question, two more questions from the audience? Yes. Who, do you, do you have a patent attorney?
Okay, well, I have a question for you. Where do I get a patent attorney?
Okay. So you mentioned the role of haters in excelling. So you know that theme song thing I was doing before? We have a theme song here, and you will know the answer to this. So if the players are going to play, and the haters are going to hate, what do you do?
Ask someone in my class.
Shake it off.
Ask my dad. He knows. He knows.
I'm just gonna shake. Shake it off.
Shake it off, right? Okay, I want to thank you for being here tonight. Really, this is one of the best presentations we've had, and if you want to come back one time and MC a portion of this with me, I welcome that.
Thank you.
Let's get a selfie with the.
The hoverboard?
We'll get a
Let's
selfie.
do this.
Wait, we gotta get.
That's
Yeah,
time.
here we go.
That's a photo. Okay.
Yeah, there we go.
And everybody smile.
Good job. Thank you.
Thank you.
So, all right. Thank you, Gage, so much for being here. So, I want to now introduce from our first pitching company, Bottom Line Briefs, a concept stage company born out of OSU Cascades venture management class. Founder Lance Abbott is here to tell us more about his unique adult brief concept, with a few of his classmates and friends here to cheer him on. And in true Ben form, Lance and our keynote tonight, Andy, flew from Portland to Redmond Tuesday, sitting next to each other. So of course, Lance practiced his pitch and Andy provided some advice. So thanks for being here, Lance, and we look forward to hearing from you.
Andy, if this doesn't work out, I'm blaming you. So like Julie said, my name's Lance Abbott. I go to school up at OSU Cascades. And this is a concept company we worked on last term. I don't see anybody from my actual team here, but there are a couple people from class, so hey friends. Before we get started, I need to clarify 3 definitions for us so we're on the same page really quick. Number 1, incontinence. That is the loss of bladder or bowel control. Number 2, disposable briefs. You might know them as adult diapers, but people really don't like it when you call them that, so we're going to call them disposable briefs. And then number 3, when I talk about home health care, I mean giving or receiving care at home as opposed to in a caretaker facility or in a hospital, something like that. All right, so what is Bottom Line Briefs? Bottom Line Briefs is an online subscription company that sends disposable briefs directly to the customer, and we've printed patterns on them so they look like normal underwear. All right, and before you guys go off thinking like this is some sort of like weird idea and I'm like out of my mind, oh, almost kicked that off the stage. You all have peed your pants, all right? Every single person in here has done it. All right. So I did a little bit of research to see like if there was an actual market and this thing could actually work. And it turns out that the disposable brief industry did about $2.8 to $4 billion in revenue back in 2015. All right, and it actually has a annualized growth expected for the next 5 years between 3 to 7%. The total available market size is about 18.2 million people. So that includes the elderly. That includes people that have side effects from different medical procedures or other medical issues. So think like late onset Alzheimer's or prostate surgery, stuff like that. And then also it includes people that receive home health care. So about 70% of the people that receive home health care have some level of incontinence. There's also not a lot of competition within the marketplace, all right? 48% of the market is controlled by two brands, Depends and Poise. And they're both owned by the same company, Kimberly-Clark. So there's not a whole lot of competition, not a whole lot of innovation. You can also buy the product online, so that's not unique at all. Obviously, everybody's been on Amazon. You can buy everything there. And you can also buy it through other medical suppliers, such as companies called North Shore Care Supply. To find out a little bit about what the customer wanted, my team actually put together a survey and we published it online. We got some really good feedback, and the number one thing that we learned is that people really, really hate it when you call it adult diapers. Yeah, we got like raked across the coals for that. It was a good learning lesson. The other three things that we learned were really important was, number one, people are self-conscious, right? So they're self-conscious that they're wearing these bright white, medical-looking, disposable briefs that's really obvious that you're wearing them. So to address this, all we wanted to do is print a pattern on them. Every single baby diaper these days has a pattern on it, so it can be done. All we want to do is put like a plaid pattern for guys or like pastel colors for girls, something similar to what like the normal underwear fashion is. The second thing is that it can be really inconvenient to purchase from a retail establishment. Also, it can be kind of embarrassing. So we're just going to ship it right to them. They don't have to go anywhere. And then the third thing is that finding the right product fit, right? So there's different levels of incontinence, and the medical community uses something called the ISI, or Incontinence Severity Index, to diagnose what level of incontinence you have. All I want to do is integrate that scale onto our product descriptions so people know exactly what products they need to buy and they won't have any leakage or they won't buy a product that's like way overkill. You guys are probably wondering if this is going to make any money, right? Yeah. So much money. The average cost of a single unit disposable brief is between 25 to 45 cents. And currently, the retail price in stores is between $80 to $1.20 per unit. Now, if you go online and purchase through North Shore Care Supply or Amazon, you got to tack on another $9 to $11 for shipping. So that kind of prices you out of the market a little bit, at least competing within the retail space or competing with retailers. So to do this, all I was thinking about doing is possibly partnering with a fulfillment company who can negotiate better shipping costs. And the next step for putting this whole thing together is to actually build a test, right? So setting up a website, developing a really basic product, and then actually exploring different avenues to see if we can reach our customer base. So one of the avenues that I thought would be really, really efficient would be through referral marketing, right? So targeting and incentivizing caretakers to share this product with their friends and with their network. The caretaker network is a really close-knit community, and there's a lot of support groups for them. The second, super obvious way, search engine marketing. Obviously, Google, everybody's done it. You got to buy a product, especially if you're looking for a product and about a subject you might be a little bit embarrassed about. You're going to go online, do your research. So if we're on Google, they better find us. And then a really fun, creative way that I thought would be really cool to reach our customer base is to actually partner with nonprofit organizations to support them in their campaign and fundraising events. So think like Alzheimer's Association or Oregon Adaptive Sports. Just being able to partner with them, bring awareness to their cause, would be an awesome way to give back to the community. My ask. I am not the smartest person in here. I haven't actually finished college yet. Yeah. So I need to learn a lot more about supply chain and manufacturing also. It's a tough one to learn about. So if you have any information about supply chain, especially the shipping side, and then the product development and manufacturing side, I would love to talk to you after this. I'm going to leave you with one last thought. So imagine this. You all of a sudden become incontinent. Oh boy. Would you rather go online, find a cool looking product that looks pretty similar to the boxers you're wearing right now, and then just order it and have it shipped right to your house? Or do you want to go down to Safeway and then buy a product with a condescending name like Depends or Poise? All right. My whole goal for this project is to help people live a normal life, right? So they can hang out with their friends, go for a walk on the river trail, do whatever they want to do, and not be self-conscious about wearing disposable briefs. Thanks.
Great. This is a day of a lot of microphone adjustments from there.
We can split the
Yeah,
difference.
yeah, that's good. Okay, let's do that. Great. So we have a few minutes for some questions. Yes, Betsy.
I have a question about testing. So somebody invented a toilet a few years ago, and I don't think a woman ever used it. Or they distributed it, it was unusable. So how are you going to actually test this on real people?
How do you test it on real people?
I think the best way to go about doing that is to just find people that are willing to try a new product, right? So get a test group together, people that are willing to give us their feedback. One of the biggest challenges for this project was getting feedback from people. Obviously, nobody wants to talk about this. So if you can actually collect a group of people and then get their input, if they're willing to share with us, that would be the optimal way to do it. Yeah.
I think your point is well taken. There's a lot of things that are designed that actually don't have research, and then it gets hard for user adoption. So, yes, Janet, and then we'll go with you. Do you have any samples?
No, somebody suggested like drawing on just a set of disposable briefs, and then they also suggested I wear it while I'm up here. I was like, nah, I'm all right.
Okay. Yes.
So are they made of plastic, or what is the composition?
What is the composition? Are they made of plastic?
Good question. I didn't know this either. The entire diaper industry is manufactured by rolling out different layers of material and then stamping out the product. So there's different types. There is petroleum-based disposable briefs, but people are tending to go away from that, and they're focusing on organic materials, plant-based materials. So in landfills, they break down a lot better.
So what are you going to focus on?
The ones that break down better. Yeah. I don't know exactly. So I need to. The question is, what are they made of, right? So I don't know exactly. That's one of those things in product development that I would need to learn more about. Yep.
One more. One more question. Yes, in the back. Who or what inspired you to do this?
I am so glad you asked this, because I was about to say that anyway. My friend Rachel, Downing right here, actually, she's the one that came up with the idea, and I stole it for the class. She let me use it. Yeah, she came up with the original idea, and I just kind of ran with it. And I was actually really surprised that we got to work on this, because our class actually voted on the projects they wanted to work on. And I was like, all right, progressive.
Thank you, Lance. Thanks so much.
Thanks,
I appreciate it. I have visited that class. Is Kim Vieira in the room? Kim is the instructor of this entrepreneur class, and it is so awesome. All the students have these small groups, and they've come up with company concepts. And I went in and they did some pitching. It was really great, and it's so fantastic to have this 4-year university here and have some focus on entrepreneurialism. Do you want to say something? Oh, yeah. I'll make this connection for you. So Kim is saying that, the whole thing about a hideaway bottle and that we like to drink a lot, it makes sense to have this product here. And now I'm sure we can work in the footwear question too. So George Pierce, CEO and co-founder of Pierce Footwear, a new-to-Ben company, is on a mission to build shoes that help people change their lives. So I'd like to invite George up right now. Thanks for being here.
And now for something very fun. I'm the CEO and co-founder of 7 Dynamics, the company legal name. I'm a world champion duathlete, which is a bike and a run. A very small niche sport. I went to the University of Chicago, got my MBA, and I spent 11 years in Silicon Valley, and I built a company for corporate wellness where people actually got paid to work out during the day and got fit. I sold that company and exited it very successfully. So today I want to introduce the T1 running shoe, the most advanced performance shoe on the marketplace. It started 5 years ago with me ripping up shoes in my backyard after I had a bike car accident where I was hit and almost killed in a collision where I broke my neck and my back. I was lucky to be alive. I said, I'm going to make a comeback. I'm a U.S. team member, so I said I'm going to spend the year coming back and making a top of the performance that I could. The issue that I had was bending over and getting in and out of shoes. I said, there's got to be a better way. There's got to be a better way. So I said, I cut up shoes in my backyard, and I said, how can I get in and out without laces quickly? We came up with shoe number 1. It had a BOA dial on the side, and it's actually, you just step into the shoe, and there's a latch on the side, so it's very accessible. There's no lacing. You just step directly into the shoe, one hand, and I will demonstrate that at some point, but not now. So I found out that this shoe was great for me because it saved me time. Time is money in podium competition. So I raced the last 5 years for Team USA World Championships, making the shoe better every year that I could. Now, what's so great about this shoe? First thing is, it's a breakthrough shoe because it's patented. It took me 3 years to get the patent, and the patent's issued in China first. I don't know why, it was. But US is still battling me, Australia's battling me, Singapore, Japan, South Korea, all these countries. So the mechanism is really irrelevant. It could be a rubber band, but the pattern itself, because it's open like this and sewn halfway open and halfway shut, allows you to step directly into the shoe. It teaches you to step into the shoe with no hands, just leave the shoe on the ground. So that's what's so significant about it, is it changes the game for all footwear across all categories of shoes. It becomes a slipper fit. It covers the foot, it wraps the foot. It doesn't squeeze the foot anymore. It's a friendly shoe. What's it good for? Versatile. Trail, running, hiking. You can wear it on bikes. You can run it in the gym. It's super light. It's already been on elite athletes all over the country and in Bend. It's already winning races for athletes. It's proven. I have a financial mission, which is to build this company and sell it in 3 to 5 years. Case in point, Hoka got a $2 million investment from Deckers. They sold it for $4 million, and they were only doing 60,000 units when they were sold. I have a technology mission, which is to reinvent the shoe, which I've already started. How can I do that? I have the best team in the world. Right here, Randall Barna. I met him in Bend. Please stand up. Awesome. Shareholder, he's going to invent, he already has invented an insole system, which will be in all our shoes coming out next, which will be a breakthrough product. I have the former New Balance president, Jim Tompkins. He's my advisor in my supply chain. Without him, I couldn't have pulled the shoe off. His team in China got the shoe done. It took him a year to do it. I have a designer from Greece, Athens, Greece, and she's beautiful, great. Design, she does all my designing. I have a CIO in Utah, he handles all my web stuff. I have another couple of team members. Tom Gilmeyer is my co-founder. He is actually the brains behind the closure system himself. Now, I have a market mission. My market mission is simply, I'm not talking about social responsibility. I'm driving it because I'm working with Special Olympics as my first launch customer. There's 5 million Special Olympic athletes in the world. There's 1 million in the US, 1 million in China, 1 million in India. I've already put the shoe on, yes, I've already put the shoe on Bend High special needs athletes. They paid for the shoe. There's a big picture on Facebook of them, all of them sitting around with me in the back. I put this shoe on people with Parkinson's, limited mobility, stroke, disabilities. This shoe helps everybody. It's not just elite triathletes. It becomes very broad very quickly. Anybody that hates tying laces, this is a great shoe for them. So my market mission is let me go into depth a little bit more about Special Olympics. In 2014, I made this shoe. There's only 20 pairs. They were the first people on the shoe to medal with it in national competition. I had 20 pairs out. They were the first ones on them. In 2015, I put 500 pairs on the Team USA, sponsored the whole team in summer games in LA. This shoe was on 500 of them. This year, coming up in March, Randall and I are going to Austria. We have an agreement to put 2,000 pairs of shoes on all the games athletes in Austria. We're going to fit every single athlete on our shoes at our booth in Austria. The shoes are on the boat right now. I just came back from China. 2,000 pairs going there. We are super excited about that. There's no company that's ever been able to pull this off. Not Nike, not New Balance, nobody. We are going to put a shoe program in place where people anywhere in the world, any Special Olympic athlete, any family member, any partner can buy this shoe for $60. We will still make, this FOB on this shoe is $15. So that gives us a margin of 75%. So we are doing good, and we are also making money at the same time. Who's our competition? It's actually Nike, obviously. They've been trying to do this disability shoe for years and years. Michael J. Fox, they had tried to get a shoe on him, the zipper shoe. It's a piece of junk. So this is a high-tech, lightweight, incredibly good shoe. So we have the product. We solve the needs for Special Olympic athletes because they have manual dexterity issues. And they have a documented problem that half of their athletes, they're underserved, they have improper fitting shoes. So we can eliminate that problem. We can cut back on it. I'm very excited about this. The Bend story is simply, I moved here in August. I brought my kids. They're in Bend High. They've tested my shoes for years and years. I love them for that. That's great. They tell me, they're teenagers. They tell me, this is not good, Dad. This is great. This is bad. I love that. So in the first 2 months, we sold 63 pairs of shoes in Bend. I deliver. I get in the truck, in my van. I drive around. People order online to piercefootwear.com. And we fit them right there. It's very quick because it doesn't take long. You step into the shoe and you feel like it's comfortable. That's the first word people say. This is a comfortable shoe. It's incredible. It feels like a sock. That's what we love. I am looking for local talent to help me build sales, social media marketing, grow the company, and take over some of the responsibilities of launching to the youth segments and the wellness segments, which we are excited to launch to after we launch with Special Olympics. You can buy the shoes at piercefootwear.com, and there's a code inside to Bend for $99, and I deliver. I'll fit you right there. Thank you.
So you have some questions for George? Yes, here. The company name, we don't hear it correctly. Can you give us some clarity on that?
So the legal name of the company is 7 Dynamics, and it's spelled number 7 even. So people think is it 7 even or is it 7? So I had a problem marketing that. So I couldn't trademark it either because it's already taken by somebody in LA for a clothing company, 7D. So I'm just going to name it Pierce. I'm going to brand it as Pierce Footwear. Pierce, because I can tell the story why I formed the company very quickly. Yep.
Thank you for that clarification, Gage.
When will these be out on the market, and where can I buy one? Because these look cool. I want one.
Oh, when will they be out on the market, and where can he buy one because they look cool and he wants a pair?
Well, they're already online, piercefootwear.com. And as I said, I deliver. As anybody in Bend and in the area, La Pine, I will go out and meet you and deliver.
Okay. Sounds like a deal. Question from the very back? Demo? You're going to do a demo? Do you want to stand? How do you want to do that so they can see?
Hopefully I didn't drink tonight, so that's a good thing. So this really is just, but I have a sock on, which is easier to step into. So just stepping into the shoe like this, that's it. It's pulling out of it like this. You just step directly into the shoe like this, and then you latch it from the side. So the latching system is there. There's 3 different adjustments on it. And I just happen to bring the fashion accessorizing. It could be in the different colors. Yeah, got to have different colors, right? Got to be cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you for that demo. Other questions? Yes.
Talk about the shoe innovation.
Can you speak a little bit more about the shoe innovation?
So laces, of course, have been around for 1,000 years, right? Velcro was introduced in the 60s with Puma for kids' shoes. So what's been less? There's been stretch laces, and I've used those as an athlete. But this shoe is designed, it's not just an add-on, it's not an accessory, it's a design for getting in and out of shoes fast and easily. So it's not just an afterthought. It's not just like, oh, I'm going to, like Hickey's laces or some other system, it's got different functionality, they have patents, and they raised a bunch of money for it. But this is actually designed totally different from any shoe in the marketplace, obviously, because it has a patent on it, and we're still fighting to get to the US. But so this changes the game of fit. That's what's so incredible about it, because a canvas shoe, a dress shoe, a casual shoe, a ski boot, not a ski boot, a soccer shoe, they're all going to have the same design that allows you to get in and out fast and adjust it on the fly. Just bend over and adjust it. So that's why we think it's so critical across all categories. It's not just a running shoe, but it's so broad. We have plans to do so many categories.
Great. We have time for one more question? I can't see the hand. Yes. Go ahead.
That's correct.
Utility patent? Do you have patents? You have patents on this?
That is a utility patent. It's not just design. So it's PCT and it's filed in 7 countries. I want to add one more thing. One of my team members I just hired is a general manager. I call him GM in Asia. He was a co-inventor of Nike's free outsole using the Sipe hot knife system. He just joined my company and assigned a patent to me, our company, for glueless outsole technology. So therefore, no glue. I mean, all shoes are made with glue. That's how they're made. This is a modular system. So our upper with his outer sole technology, there's no company in the world that can drive innovation like us. Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
Are there any special incentives for Pubtalk guests to buy your shoes?
I will assign a Pubtalk code so everybody can get them for cheap.
Always adding value. That's good. George, thank you so much for being here. Appreciate it. Okay, so now our guest keynote speaker, Andy Hannagan. Andy is the CEO of Ben's Bounce Foods, a company that inspires positive change in the way people eat, think, and live. Andy and Paula Hannagan started Bounce back in 2004 on a whim in Australia. With no real understanding of selling food products, they set out with the purpose of providing a healthier option for the on-the-go snacking. And after getting on the shelves in the first 200 stores and working through a range of other business challenges, they discovered that they might be onto something big. Let's hear what. Andy?
Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you for having me. Thank you to EDCO for having me and allowing me to talk and tell our story. Hopefully we can provide a little bit of insight into our story and have a bit of a laugh along the way. Because if I wasn't laughing, I'd be bloody crying, I can tell you. The other night I was on the plane with Lance, and he did do his pitch to me on the plane. It was the Portland to Redmond trip, so we had a short period of time. And I was intrigued by his story. I didn't realize that he was going to get me running up and down the aisle with the sample on, the only one. It is gone now, and it worked. It was a good conversation, but it was also just a reflection of what happens in this town. There's people in this town trying to think outside the square and do stuff. So regardless of whether the idea takes off or not for Lance, I like the ideas and I like the thinking, and I think that we should support that type of thinking in the OSU college that's here in town. Also, to Gage, who got up here, and well done for getting up here, buddy, because it's a big ask for you to get up here and do that. Seven Peaks School runs an innovation for Celebration Week, and for the whole week, the kids get together and they come up with ideas and they think about things, and then they present their ideas into a Shark Tank format. And I've been happily emceeing that event for the last couple of years, and I'm a supporter of the event because I love the idea that we're fostering entrepreneurial thinking in young kids. Because for all of us who are sitting here in the audience, we need the younger generation to be thinking deeply about how they're going to perform in the world with ideas and help us create solutions to some big problems that are coming. So whether it's a hoverboard and we're getting around and they make hoverboard highways, who knows? But just the idea that there's that level of support and thinking going on in this town, I'm a big fan of. So well done to both of you. Good job. And well done, Pierce. I enjoyed your talk as well. Good on you. Today was Australia Day. It's the 26th of January in Australia. So today we went up to the mountain and I hung the flag, skied with some friends, had a barbie, we threw some lamb on the barbie, and we celebrated Australia Day. Last year on the 24th of January, my brother, who was a very, very good friend of mine, died in an avalanche in Jackson Hole, Wyoming. And so we went up there to celebrate him as well as Australia Day. One of my biggest enjoyments out of living here in Bend was ringing my brother up in Australia and giving him a snow report, because he was a lover of the chairlift and a lover of the town. So rubbing it into him was something that I used to do often. So we celebrated him today, and we celebrated Australia Day. In my early 20s, I was actually a ski bum, and I still am a ski bum. We've been doing this business for 12 years and had been coming to Oregon for most of that time, but had never come across to Bend. We were working with a co-manufacturer on the other side of the Cascades in McMinnville. And in my early 20s, I used to teach skiing, so I used to follow the snow back and forth between Tahoe and New Zealand. So I was a ski bum. It was an endless winter. And after coming to Oregon for 10 years, and then we brought the kids over to show them around because we're going to make them. So we decided that we're going to make the move and open up the US market. And so we brought the kids over on a reconnaissance mission to show them around. And at that point, we were still going to move onto the other side of the Cascades near the co-manufacturer. And I said, as part of that trip, we have to go skiing and fuel my desire. And then we got to Bend, and I was just completely blown away. I was just like, I didn't realize that this town existed with the mountains just up the road. And so we hastily changed the plan of which side of the Cascades we were going to move to, coming to Bend. And Bounce in Bend, so Bounce as an energy ball brand, and Bend was like a match made in heaven. It was like our perfect climate for people that love to get outside and get after it, and it was the perfect climate for me to keep skiing. So that's how we've ended up in Bend. I want to talk a little bit about the big idea, and my wife, who's actually the real boss, she's sitting up in the corner. On her business card it says the real boss. I just pretend to be the boss. She's the real boss in many, many more ways than one. Paula was on a trip to New York, found a great product that was very poorly branded but tasted fantastic, and brought them back to Australia. And after we'd eaten them in our lounge room and passed them around to a few of our friends, we rang the manufacturer on the other side of the Cascades and said, hey, we like your product. Can you send us a few more flavours, and then can we figure some stuff out? So they sent us the other flavours, which were better than the original ones that we had. So we were just like, hang on a second, there's something going on here. And so then we said to them, look, can you make some products for us, and can we brand it ourselves, is how we got started. And you're right in saying we didn't really know what we were doing. I don't think that we've got many more ideas now, but we're still trying to figure a lot of stuff out. But we said to them, look, we want to open up the market in Australia. We were considered a mum and pop operation on the other side of the world, and of no real concern to them. And we started to ship some product in. So I remember the first pallet of product that arrived, and we lived in a 2-bedroom apartment in Sydney. So the pallet of product arrived, and we had the product stacked in the hallway because we didn't have a garage, right? So we had to stack it in the hallway, and it came in these big canisters. So our product is, if you haven't seen it, it's like an energy bar, but it's a ball. But it's a ball. I got to say ball, because if I say ball, you guys don't understand me. So we've been having a lot of ball jokes for many, many years, I can tell you, and it still goes on. So our product is like an energy bar, but it's a ball, and they used to arrive in 70-count canisters. And it was wrapped in cellophane. It had a little barcode on the back, and we put a sticker on the canister, and then there were 70 units in the canister. And just to put that into perspective, our biggest selling unit today is in a 12-unit caddy, a 12-unit box that fits onto a shelf. So here we go with 70-unit canisters with no branding on every packet. They're in cellophane packets, and I go marching off around Sydney with my bag, and I'd have 2 big canisters, and I'd pull up at all these, I'd get my run list, and I'd pull up at all these health food stores, and I'd waltz in there with my naivety blowing at 100%, thinking that it was a good idea that these guys would purchase, and each one was $134. And I used to sell 2 of them, because I'm going to say, well, if I'm going to go in, they can't buy 1, they got to buy 2, right? So anyways, we managed to convince people. I used to ring my wife and say, I'd give her a rolling update and say, I've got 5 stores on today. I'd give her the update, and then the next day I'd be crying because I'd had 10 no's. But that was how we got started. We started selling some product. We started shipping it in. We figured out how to deal with aqueous, which is the quarantine. So we figured out how to import. We figured out how to freight. We figured out how to manage cash. In actual fact, Paula used to ring them up and say, and she's got such a darling voice. I mean, you can't say no. Butter would melt in in her mouth, and so she would ring them up and say, you owe us $268, and they'd purchase another 2 tubs off her right there and then on the spot. So we worked out that if we chased our money and kept our age receivables at a controllable level, they'd buy more stuff off us. It was like, this is great. We're starting to figure some stuff out. And that's how we got started. So we put on the first 200 stores ourselves. We used once we moved out of the 2-bedroom apartment, we got a place with a garage, thankfully, a double garage, winning, because that was my warehouse. As we put on the first 200 stores and the orders got bigger, we had to start ordering more pallets. So we'd order 2 or 3 pallets at a time, and then we were ordering 6 pallets. So I used to drive from our house down to Sydney to the docks in a little, it's like a U-Haul, like a budget renter truck, right? So I used to get in this little 3-ton renter truck, and I used to drive from our house down to the docks in Sydney and pick up the 6 pallets. So they'd stick the 6 pallets in the back of the truck, and then I'd drive all the way back up home, and I would unload the pallets by hand into the garage. So, if you can imagine that. So I'm stripping the pallets down, unloading them off the truck, sticking them in the garage, and then every day the UPS or the FedEx person would turn up, and we would ship our orders. So we would pick and pack our orders from the garage, and we'd have a whole system going on. And I used to do that every month. And then it got to the point when the budget truck got too small, and then I didn't have a license to drive the bigger truck. So it caused us to think, well, hang on a second, we need to have a different way of doing this. And so then we decided that we're going to get a warehouse in Sydney, and we sort of started the momentum a little bit further on from there. But my point around all that, and in the start of the story, with any story or any idea, etc., is naivety was a really, really good asset at that point, because if I had knew how bloody tough it was now, and how much red wine I drank now, then I may not have done it. So I think being naive and just sort of jumping into this, balls and all, was a great asset. This T-shirt actually is rule number 6, and it's a value in our business. There's no 1 to 5. There's only one rule in our business, one value with this T-shirt, and it's don't take yourself so fucking seriously is the rule. And there's no 1 to 5. So if you ever get a T-shirt, sorry for swearing, but if you if you get a T-shirt, the idea is that you get to remind yourself of the rule, because I need it often, and then you get to share the rule with others, because a lot of other people need it too. So if you ever get a T-shirt, that's the mission. So we through those early days and the naivety, and we then changed out of the garage and went to Sydney and set up a 3PL warehouse. We got on a fitness chain. We got on juice bars. We started to get some momentum in grocery and in the grocery chains. About 3 years into the business, we decided that we're going to open up the UK because, and again, naivety, which actually hurt us a little bit in that instance. But we set up the UK 3 years in. It drained a lot of cash from the Australian business, but we thought, we were doing the right thing. And so you go through a whole lot of other learning when you start to make big mistakes. Right? And I just want to fast forward, and I'll keep going with the story in a minute, but just fast forward to now. We've managed to consolidate the UK and the European business, the Australian business, the US business, and the Canadian business is all consolidating into one global company. We have about 50 employees. We do about $30 million in sales, and we're still trying to figure a whole lot of stuff out. But that small idea has sort of blossomed into this, business that we have now. And as we grow and progress forward, the business keeps pulling us forward. It keeps pulling us forward as individuals. So we have to grow personally in order to match where the business is up to. So if we don't keep doing that, we stagnate. And that's been a big lesson for us, particularly coming to the US, because, as you come into this market, which is at a whole nother level of playing field, the business will draw you forward and it'll ask big questions of you. And you have to step up. And if you don't step up, that's when you get stale, that's when you stop growing, and that's when things go flat. So you'll remember in 07, 08, 09, I know this town remembers 07, 08, 09, the global financial crisis, which was something that was widespread throughout the whole world. Our dollar went from 80 cents as an equivalent to the US dollar. It went to 55 cents pretty much within 8 weeks. So our gross product, so we were still pulling product out of our co-manufacturer on the other side of the Cascades, and so our GP went through the roof overnight because of the global financial crisis. Trying to navigate yourself through that and what was happening through that, again, was one of those big challenges that you have to step up and not sit in the corner and cry. You have to step up and you have to try and figure some stuff out. You have to change some things and pivot and shapeshift. During popping out of 2009 after the GFC gift, we went into a full-scale recall with our biggest selling product, which again was another one of those challenges, another one of those hurdles where the business said, you need to learn this stuff to figure it out so that you can be better business people and push yourself forward. So there's a recall for you. So there's a GFC and then there's a recall. From there, in 08, 09, we sort of we stabilized for a couple of years, and then we started to get some momentum again, and we started to build some real brand awareness. So in Australia and the UK, we are at a position far different than here, where we've got brand awareness, we've got consumer loyalty, and we've got distribution, which makes it far easier for you to execute in that market. In 2014, we moved to Bend for the reasons that I said, and decided that we were going to tackle the US market. And I remember there was a point, I think 2 weeks after we arrived, and we had boxes in our garage, and I looked at my wife and I said, "Shit, we've just done it again." Apply the rule and keep going. So the US market, and we came from markets where the energy bar market was far less mature. So you've got Cliff and Klein and Quest and all the big players and Larabar that all play. There's 100 people in the category, and there's 100 people trying to get in the category, and we're one of them trying to get in the category. We build these graphs of the category where it shows the head of where all the volume of sales is, and then the long tail. And so we're in the tail at the moment. So it's been, and again, interesting to come here naively thinking that, yeah, we can do this. We've done it before. We can do this, and we can. But naivety brought us here, and then now we're in this challenge. And so now we're being asked to step up and grow to be able to meet the needs of where the business is at, and that's where we currently are. So in 2016, it was probably the toughest year of our business life in the last 12 years. We were undercapitalized. We got into Trader Joe's in Q1 last year. We got out of Trader Joe's in September, and I know the Picky Bar guys in town as well. They went through the same experience. You go in and out of places. You have to invest heavily. At the moment, our investment, per month in the US is somewhere between $150,000 and $200,000 every month, and you have to keep investing if you want to go from the tail through to the head. So we're on the field. And we're trying to make some stuff happen, and it's definitely got its challenges. So for us, we're looking at things like where is plant-based protein going? Where is the energy bar set going? Is there any room for us to move from the tail into the head? We brought some other products out in Australia, leveraging the brand in terms of other snack products that are healthy, that are a bite format. We're looking at RTD or ready-to-drink formats in the Australian market. And in terms of what we're learning here in the US, we need to shape-shift and we need to pivot. We need to understand from an investment perspective, if we can't get from the tail into the head in the energy bar set because it's too crowded, then what are we going to do next? What sort of product formats are we going to come out with? What does plant-based protein mean? What are the trends going? And then how do we need to react and perform in this market? So we're constantly trying to ask ourselves those questions, because what's worked in Australia and the UK doesn't necessarily work here. So we have to be open-minded, and we have to be able to, or willing to be able to look at ourselves and learn from those experiences. So, we're going through those challenges. We're going through raising money. We're going through growth. We're going through hiring people. We're spending a lot of money, and it's bloody stressful. And it's a huge challenge on the relationship. Because my wife, who's the real boss, tells me what to do most of the time. But look, there's lots of challenges. We're both open individuals that are ready to keep asking questions of ourselves, to drive ourselves forward, and that really is something that is helping us get through the challenges that are happening. So where am I looking at going forward? I'm deeply interested in understanding from a leadership perspective, how do we lead businesses going forward? I'm interested in how do we deal with millennials? I watched a Simon Sinek video a couple of weeks ago about dealing with millennials in the workplace, and it was so fascinating to understand his take on how we're bringing up millennial kids through school and through college, and then popping them out into the workforce, coming to work for us and coming to work for a lot of you. And how do we deal with them? Because they're coming through in far different ways than we've come through, and they're thinking things differently. They kind of got this expectation that stuff is going to happen tomorrow, and it doesn't. You know, they've got, some of them have an entitlement mentality. Some of them have, you know, other issues going on in terms of their consumption of social media and, you know, all those sorts of things. So I'm fascinated with how do we build businesses going forward that are able to accommodate for that new wave of people coming through, because we need them. And so as a business owner and as a leader, I'm interested in how do I need to change myself in order to bring them through, because what I know now and how those people are coming through isn't necessarily going to match. So I'm really interested in that. I'm interested in this town because this town is fostering entrepreneurial spirit. And so I'm interested when I talk to Lance on the plane, or if I hear Gage, I'm interested in those sorts of things, because I think we need to support each other and support people in the community that have ideas. And you know, I've been in Bend for 2.5 years, and I care deeply about how this community progresses going forward. I want to contribute. I think that, you know, in terms of going through the ups and downs with GFC, the town, you know, has all that going on for it, and it's trying to bring entrepreneurialism in. So I want to be a part of that, and I want to contribute. And the last thing I want to do is just thank my wife for being able to put up with me and stand by me as we go through this roller coaster. I pretend that she's the real boss. I pretend that I'm the real boss, and she's the real boss. Better get that right. But she's been a great support, and you know, it's been an interesting journey for us to go through, and certainly test the things from a household perspective. But she's been there through thick and thin, and for us, we're on the field. You know, we're not sitting in the grandstand. We're on the field, and we're in for the fight. And it's a tough market, but we're here, and we're not going away. And I hope that we can make a success. Thanks very much.
Well done. Yep. Hi, questions for Andy? Yes. What kind of research informs your product development?
Great question. In terms of driving value commercially in the business, new product development is one of the key things that is going to leverage the brand value. So we want to try and understand, you know, in Australia and the UK and the other markets, we've been able to build success in the energy bar category, but we want to be able to cross-pollinate so the brand can extend, so that when we build the proposition for the business, then the purchaser of the business would then be able to understand, okay, the brand is big enough to be able to stretch. It's a little bit like the conversation with Pierce. It's not a running shoe, it stretches. So we want to build value from a brand perspective to stretch. In terms of how we look at where do we play, we look at category data across the whole natural and conventional set. We look at key trends in terms of food. There's a key trend in 2017 around sustainability of the supply chain of food, which is fascinating, because, you know, our core products for the last 10 years have had whey protein in them. Now where is dairy and where is the meat industry going to be in another 10 years? I find that fascinating. Plant-based protein and all of the plant movement and even veganism, which is like this, you know, hippie thing, you know, it's not going to be hippie, it's going to be a way forward. You know, so in terms of how do we define where are we going to play, we look at data in terms of who's selling what and is it working. We look at ingredients, certainly, and we try and understand where the brand can extend.
Thank you. Yes? I've never seen these products. Where are they?
So we're in the Whole Foods stores in town. So just in Bend, we were in Trader Joe's. We were in we were in Trader Joe's. God damn, it still cuts me deep. It's all right. I'll get over it. Apply the rule, and I'll be moving on. Market of choice, Whole Foods. Newport Market, some coffee places around town. So generally what we've done in terms of penetrating a market is we work with natural and specialty retailers first. Once we've got a foothold there, we can move to conventional, and once we've got conventional, you can move to convenience. So we're still trying to tap into natural and specialty in terms of the US market. So Whole Foods, market of choice. We just listed at Sprouts in January, so we'll be going to that's another chain of health food stores. And then, of course, you can shop them online at Amazon as well. And just for anybody who's here tonight, if you want to swing by, our office is above the Patagonia store, just on Wall Street. If you want to pop up and say hello and you saw the Pubtalk, you can come in and get a free sample there.
Thank you. Wearing your Pierce shoes. Yes, Gator.
Are these your recipes, or are you buying from a co-packer, or is that the sole source of your product?
So are these your recipes, or are you buying them from a co-packer that's your sole source?
Good question. I'm going to cry again. No. So originally when we first started, we took somebody else's recipe, we rebranded it in our product and our brand, and sold it into the market, into Australia. And we quickly realized that they held the golden key. So over the years, what we've done is we've worked with other co-packers in the UK and Australia and developed. So naivety played a role in us just saying, hey, can you sell us your product and you own the recipe? If I had my time again, I'd say, hey, can you develop us something? Let's pay you for it, and then we'll own the IP and go and sell it forward from there. So what we've done over the years is we've re-engineered our relationship with the co-packers and made sure that we've been able to work with their R&D teams and then pay them for the work, so that they charge us a fee for the development of the recipes so that we can own the recipes.
Great. One more question? So I actually have a question. I know you had a chance, so I'm going to give myself a chance. So I want to so you talked about the company and the opportunities and challenges pulling you forward. Can you talk a little bit about the role of that pressure and self-awareness in leadership and how you're driving forward into these new arenas?
It's a good question. Leadership and how you are as an individual is a constant evolution, I think. So for me, constantly asking questions of ourselves and myself. I say to our team, you know, I'd rather lead vulnerably than try and tell you that I think I know everything, because I don't. You know, I need you guys to help me figure some shit out too, right? So, but you know, it's trying to lead in a way that gives them enough confidence, but then also encourages them to contribute to leadership. I think leadership is about your team contributing to the way that you lead, not just you thinking that you have to lead in a certain way.
So I didn't give you your opportunity to ask a question. Do you want to ask your question now? Do you want to ask? How many calories in each one? That's a good note to end on, I think.
It varies. So we have different products. We've got a vegan ball, which I think is our lowest calorie count, which is around 150 calories, and our highest calorie count is 200. On the peanut flavour. So, and just depending on whether we've added whey protein in there or not, and depending on what makes up the recipe, but somewhere between that bracket. And what we're trying to do is we're trying to deliver a product that has the right amount of protein, carbs and fats and sweetened naturally without any preservatives in it, and it's gluten-free and tastes good, so that you get a smart snack that's balanced. And that's what we're about. We're not the biggest bar or the biggest ball on the market, but you know what we're trying to do is we're trying to deliver quality in a compact size that gives you the sense of fulfillment.
Great. So thank you so much for being here. I have this special tankard for you that we give keynote speakers, and if you come back to Pubtalk and you bring it, McMenamins will fill it up for you. Beautiful. Thanks, Andy. So there's a bit of a theme here with resilience and endurance. That if you stay fully hydrated and you put on your Pierce footwear, ride your hoverboard. You can do it endlessly because you're wearing bottom-line briefs, and you have a lot of energy because you've eaten the bounce balls. So, thank you here. Did I miss anybody in that? My little story? Okay, so thank you for being here. Couple closing comments. Pubtalk is back on track now, launching now in January to monthly events in the new year. Mark your calendars for the 4th Thursday of the month through June, and stay tuned for the rest. EDCO has invited me back as their volunteer MC for 2017, so if you can bear with my sense of humor, you're welcome. Thank you for that. And don't forget to register for the EDCO luncheon at edcoinfo.com events page. Discounts on sponsored tables and tickets for members are on the site. I thank you for being here. Take good care of each other. Safe travels. And if I don't see you before, see you next month. Thanks for being here.